So, the lesson for this morning is persistence. I'm Mira Rubin, and this is the Core Connection here on Enlightened World Network. And this morning was characterized by multiple challenges going live and being resourceful. And I think that those are words for the day. Being persistent in our commitment to be resilient and resourceful. So, what does that look like? I think we talked yesterday about managing mood, and one of the things that is a simple thing that you can do if you're finding yourself agitated or frightened, and this might sound really crazy, but smile. Try smiling, because when you smile, you can't feel the same feelings. So I know people are collecting jokes to just keep their spirits high, and so Kimberly, I see that you're here. Welcome. I'm glad to see you. I don't know if you have any jokes to share, but that would be great. I've said that we'll start the day with a centering, just presencing exercise. So let's just take a minute to breathe and take a deep breath in through your nose, gently and deeply, and hold it gently for just a second or two, and allow yourself to release that breath and release any tension that you're feeling. And let's do that again. Just breathe in deeply and exhale gently. Hello, Julie. Welcome. So glad to have you here. And now, as we're getting present, I'd like you to feel your fingers. Just feel your fingers, move them around, just feel them. And maybe even rub your hands together and be present to the feeling of rubbing your hands together. Hello, Isha, welcome. This is really new to me, so if I don't respond to you directly in the chat, please forgive me. Normally, what I would be doing is transmitting this through Zoom, and for some reason, it didn't work today. So Julie says she's feeling better already. So feel your fingers, feel your hands, maybe the palms of your hands. And if you can coordinate your breath with that feeling, just sort of breathe into the palms of your hands as you rub them together gently. Whew. And what we're doing is we're just focusing. We're focusing our attention. So this is where the power of focus is. And wherever we put our attention multiplies. So when we put our attention on presence, if we put our attention on simple sensations, that can help to bring us back to a place of presence. So what we can do today, I think, is I'm going to teach you how to tap, because tapping is another phenomenal tool to be able to manage emotions. And it's a great tool anytime, but now more than ever. So I'm going to teach you how to do that. If you already know how to tap and you're on board here, just put it in the chat, and maybe we can work with this together. A lot of us in transformation are really very committed to staying positive and reframing things in positive ways. And the tapping procedure is one thing that's different in that it is about really acknowledging and allowing yourself to experience the feelings that are there without the positive spin. So if there's some sense of anxiety and tension, even with physical things, you can use this tapping process. So let's do this together. I'm going to show you the points first, and then we'll go back and do it together. So the first point, let me move this out of the way a little bit. The first point is the karate chop point. And this is on the side of your hand. And this is where we're actually putting the program that we're working on into the system. And the points that we're going to be tapping on are acupressure points. So they're actually tied to meridians, energetic meridians in the body. And this is a process of self-care that is one of the more profound processes I'm aware of. So what you do is we'll start with this karate chop point, and when we do that, we're going to put in what it is that we're looking to clear. So the way that it works is to say, even though I'm feeling anxious and fearful right now, I love and completely accept myself. Now, sometimes people have a challenge with saying, I love and completely accept myself. So you can modify that phrase to be something that you can align with. So I love and completely accept my soul or my higher self or whatever it is that you can align with. And we do that 3 times with that statement. Then we can abbreviate that statement to, for instance, in my example, fear and anxiety. And then we're going to tap on other places. So the first place that we tap is on the inner eyebrow. And some people tap both hands, some people tap one hand. It works just as well either way. So you can do what feels right for you. So you start at the inner eyebrow, and we would say fear and anxiety, for example. And then on the outer edge of the eye, and then under the eye, and then under the nose, and below the lip, and then on the edge of your collarbone, so the knobby part of your collarbone, you tap there, and then under your arm on your rib, and then you can end that cycle with tapping on the top of your head. So let's go through it together. And what I'd like you to do is measure in and see where you are in terms of fear or anxiety right this minute. And we'll see how that shifts as we go through this process. Okay, so even though I find myself feeling fear and anxiety, I love and completely accept myself. Even though I still have deep fear and anxiety, I love and completely accept myself. Even though I feel fluctuations in fear and anxiety, I love and completely accept myself. And then we'll go to the inner eyebrow, fear and anxiety. And then on the outside of the eye, fear and anxiety. And you can also take deep breaths at each of these places, and that can help process the emotion and energy through as well. And then under the eye, fear and anxiety. And you want to tap probably at least 7 times. And you don't have to tap hard, it can be gentle. Fear and anxiety. And then fear and anxiety. And fear and anxiety. And then under the arm on the ribs, fear and anxiety. And then on the top of the head, fear and anxiety. And check in. And how do you feel? Has it lessened? If you had a sense of fear at an 8, is it maybe at a 7 or at a 6? If it was at a 4, is it maybe at a 3 or a 2? And we can keep doing cycles. And as you notice, you can change the phrasing. And let's just say, even though I still feel somewhat anxious, I love and completely accept myself. Even though I feel somewhat anxious, I love and completely accept myself. Even though I still have some anxiety, I love and completely accept myself. And then inner eyebrow, anxiety. And outside the eye, still having some anxiety. And under the eye, I'm allowing that anxiety to move. And then under the nose, I'm allowing myself to release that anxiety. And then on the chin, I'm allowing myself to breathe into that anxiety. And then on the collarbone, releasing anxiety. And then under the arm, freeing myself of anxiety. And then on the top of the head, releasing the anxiety. And you can also use this process to tap in positive things too. As you're moving through, like releasing the anxiety, then we can tap in a sense of peace. So I just want to talk for a second before we bring in the peace. I want to talk about Marcy says, I do this for pain in my body. It works really well with pain too. I want to talk about being present to what's really there. So when you're tapping for pain, you're acknowledging the pain. So you're acknowledging the pain and being present to it and tapping through it. Use your breath with this process as well. And when you allow yourself to be present to a sensation or an emotion, what happens is that you allow it to move. Instead of tamping it down, you're giving it space to energetically, because emotion is energy. It's a chemical set in your body, and it creates an energetic frequency and pattern in your body. By allowing yourself to be present to it rather than trying to squash it, we allow it to release. And so that's a really important thing. And we saw in the very beginning of working together today that coming present to sensation, coming present to our breath, all of those things allow us to be in the moment, and in the moment we can handle what's going on. It's when we start projecting things into the future that we can get kind of crazy pretty quickly. So let's go and now tap in some peace, shall we? So again, we're going to go to the karate chop point, and I'm going to say, even though, well, I'm not even going to say even though, I'm going to say, I'm tapping in peace, I'm bringing in peace, I'm tapping into peace as an act of loving and accepting myself completely. I'm calling in peace as an act of loving and accepting myself completely. And a breath. I'm calling in peace as an act of loving and accepting myself completely. And then on the inner eye, calling in peace. And a breath. And on the outer eye, I'm calling in peace. And breathe this into your body. And calling in peace under the eye. Calling in peace. And another deep breath. Ooh, I just felt my shoulders relax. Calling in peace under the chin. And calling in peace on the collarbone. And calling in peace. And another deep breath all the way down to your toes. And exhale. And let's end with calling in peace. Ooh. So I'm wondering if that has been effective for you. I feel lighter. I hope you do. And More tomorrow. We'll come back. I'll be here at 9 a.m. Eastern Time. And I wish you a gentle day, loving yourself, loving others, and remembering to breathe.